All right, so the rib tool is a flat tool that artists use with clay to smooth pieces out and to help with joining. I'm going to use that over the same places where my seam was to make sure that it's really, really sealed. And you'll see that it also begins to help my sphere really take on shape. My final piece is going to be more of an egg shape. So I'm going to now be thinking about how do I form this piece into my final plan. So if you planned yours to be more cubical, more cube-like, then you're going to pat yours into a cube. If you plan for it to be more egg-like or more organic, then you're going to force it into that shape. So I'm going to take this rib tool and go all the way around it to make sure that everything is filled and to really get that egg shape that I'm planning with. And you see how that really, really cleans up the piece as I'm going around it and smoothing all these edges and seams. That's what the rib tool is really good for, is to help you kind of get rid of those bumps and those rough edges. And you, again, can just use like an old piece of plastic, like a credit card, like or a gift card that's been used already, and it'll do the same thing. All right. So at this stage, it doesn't have to be completely smooth, but I have the general gist. Let's say that you wanted yours to be more triangular or more pyramid-like or more cube-like. What you would need to do is pat yours on the table or on your working surface until you get it into that shape. And you really want to do that now. So everybody's working on getting theirs shaped. So I have mine shaped into the egg shape that I would like. And from here, I'm going to pat it for a flat bottom. And you see I'm just patting it on the table and I'm shifting it around until it sits by itself. And it looks like what I would like for it to look like all the way around. If it's higher on one side that I want, which it kind of is over here, I'm going to pat it into that shape. And that's what I mean if you wanted yours more cube-like. All right, so now let's think about what are we going to do to create our lids. You have to have a lid for your piece, and your lid is going to be cut at a 45-degree angle. For that 45-degree angle, let's say that this is your base, your inside of your piece, you want to cut in for your lid at 45 degrees. So think about a 90-degree angle is up here. Your cut needs to be here, halfway and diagonal into your piece. If I were you, I would take a pencil or my plastic knife cutting tool, and I would draw my base, I would draw it on first. So I'm going to plant my hand down right where I want my lid to be, and I'm just going to rotate my piece by keeping my hand steady, and I'm going to rotate it around into a circle. And this is drawing a line all the way around my piece, which by the time I get to the other side, it should meet it, and ooh, look at that, it did. So you see how it drew a line all the way around, and it's pretty even because I planted my hand. From here, I'm going to go in at that angle. So let me put it right here. So I have my piece on the side. Now I'm going to go in at the 45-degree angle, just like that, and I'm going to cut all the way around following that line. So make sure that you keep your knife at the 45-degree angle. Things can be fixed a little bit at the next step, but then you should have it all opened. So once you get that opened, you'll have your lid and you have your piece that has the lid cut off, and you'll probably see the seam from where you joined your pieces together on the inside, right? Now what we need to do is fix what everything looks like. Try to not move with your lid. Try to keep it as the same shape as you can. Be very, very nice to it. But you do want to clean up these edges. You can take your finger and just smooth these edges out. Keep them that 45-degree angle. And you might even use your fingers on the edge here and just smooth those little rough edges out. Because remember, this is going to turn into glass later, and you won't want all these rough edges. When you clean up the inside, make sure that you're not pushing it outwards too much. You just want to make sure that everything looks nice, really. So I'm using the edges of my thumb and the edges of my forefinger to clean up all of these edges on the sides. I'm going to pinch this right here out a little bit more so that it looks nice. And these here, we'll cut that off a little bit later once we start using rib tools. So you see what I'm doing is I'm just smoothing, smoothing, smoothing. And so I want you to finish smoothing that, and I will finish that before the next video. And on this other piece, on your main piece, you need to clean up these edges here as well as the insides there, and you're going to seal up that seam. So again, with this, you're just going to use your finger, and you don't want to pull it outwards. You just want to clean up those rough edges. You can use the rib tool a bit. You remember, you don't want to misshape it, so just be really gentle. And you want to take your fingers to the inside here and seal the seam from the inside as well. So in the next video, I'll have all of this done. If you do need help, let me know, and I can help you out. And I just want you to make sure that you get everything on the inside nice and smooth, and get rid of the seams on the inside in your bowl from where you joined them together. And you want to get your lid, where you cut your lid off, nice, have nice edges on that, where think about how you would put your mouth on it, what that would feel like if you put your mouth on it, okay? Is it going to cut your lip or not? This step can kind of take a while, so just be patient.